Hello, welcome to the Self Learning Podcast by Dr. Sushma Singh. Let us start discussion on Unit 4 Understanding Decentralization in Contemporary Settings. Decentralization has emerged as a prominent issue in the literature of public administration and is regarded as one of the most important social innovations of this century. It has been and continues to be advocated as a pertinent component of policy packages to improve governance in developing countries, especially in the context of disillusionment, which has set in on account of central planning. The centralist regimes find themselves overburdened with complex and widespread socio-economic problems for which they have no answers. As the governments have sought to create more socially equitable patterns of economic growth to meet the basic needs of the poor, decentralization has become a major element in the administrative organizations of government services. As a result of enormous increase in the variety, number and complexity of functions of modern state, numerous countries are experimenting with decentralization initiatives to devolve powers and responsibilities to elected bodies at the lower tier of political administrative system. In many countries, decentralization as a means of achieving socio-economic goals has got constitutional mandate. In case of India, efforts in this direction has been made since independence. There have been strong voices in favor of decentralization and to have a third tier of governance where local decisions will be taken by the people. As a result, in 1992, the 73rd and 74th Constitutional Amendment Acts were passed with an aim to provide the third tier of governance both for the rural and as well as the urban areas. These acts have opened avenues for facilitating social mobilization process at the grassroots level. Now let us move to the next point, legislative framework of decentralization. After coming to power in 1991, the Congress government gave top priority to PRIs and brought out the Constitution 72nd Amendment Bill 1991. The bill was passed by the Parliament on December 22, 1992, after thorough debate and discussion, and is now known as the 73rd Constitutional Amendment Act 1992. By April 23, 1994, all the states had completed the process of enacting fresh legislation on strengthening the PRIs. The 74th Constitutional Amendment Act came into force on June 1, 1993. All the states amended or replaced the existing municipal acts by May 31, 1994. However, the 73rd and 74th Constitutional Amendment Acts have not been applied to Jammu and Kashmir, Mizoram, Nagaland, and certain scheduled areas of the country. Constitutionalization of Panchayats and Nagarpalikas is a step in the direction of speeding up the process of decentralization and giving strength as well as stability to local institutions. It has made a sea change in the status of the panchayats and nagarpalika. The constitution has made it mandatory for all the states to set up 3-tier. In smaller states having less than 20 lakh population, 2-tier panchayats and nagarpalika, and to hold direct elections to all the tiers at regular interval of 5 years. In respect of devolution of power and resources to panchayats and nagarpalika, however, the constitution has laid down only the basic principles by way of declaring it as an institution of self-government and providing an illustrative list of functions that can devolve on it. There are now approximately 2,25,000 gram panchayats, 6,000 panchayat samitis and 550 Jila Parishads duly elected and governed by the state legislation in different states and union territories. Similarly, there are around 3,700 urban local bodies with 100 corporations, 1,500 municipal councils and 2,100 Nagar Panchayats, besides 56 cantonment boards, a kind of extra constitutional body. Now let us move to the next point, decentralization of operation. All the states completed the process of enacting fresh legislation on strengthening the Panchayati Raj institutions on April 23, 1994. As many as 11 states pushed through fresh legislation in 72 hours, some of them even in the early hours of that April 23rd. 1994 to beat the stipulated deadlines of April 23rd, 1994, the day panchayats became part of the Indian Constitution. So far as the municipal acts are concerned, some states only amended their existing acts, others repealed the old ones and legislated new ones, and still others have them for the first time. But the states, what is more important in their operationalization, accordingly in the exceeding pages an attempt is made to examine the various stages of decentralization in different states and also to provide a framework for initiating future course of action for a meaningful process of decentralization. Under this, the discussion is classified under the following categories that we will discuss in our next discussion. Thank you very much for engaging yourself with the self-learning podcast. Now let us wind up the session.